Hello and welcome back. Today we decided, to do things a little differently, starting on top of a roof and starting looking at Newt here. We are going to make the demon summoning ritual. I can't remember what the exact name of the ritual is called, but it's going to be built pretty much centered on this road. The ritual is somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 by 19, 15 by 17, something like that. So that's what he's doing right now. Is he's kind of measuring out, and the ritual has, I want to say, three different layers. So ground level or one below is going to be the first layer, and then we're going to stack them down from there. This doorway is going to get closed off. We're going to strip the road back to here, so the road will actually end at the ritual. I believe we selected limestone to kind of give it that aged look for the blood magic rituals. So that's what we're going to kind of go with. Just kind of wanted to pop in here and kind of give you an angle of beforehand. I did pull the golems down over here. I did actually make a used golem after the last recording, and he was kind of chopping along here with the others. I left him run for about 4 hours, and we ended up, that was, I think, one stack when I started. We're up to 151. We got 13 or so stacks of this one. I want to say 5 stacks of that one. I let this one, the spruce, run for a while. I got about 15. The witchery trees were a little hard to use because the agricarnations wouldn't increase their growth rate, and they also spawned ents. So you can kind of see we got grass here. There was some over there. The ents would just spawn every time a tree was, or a random chance when a tree was cut down, and they were getting to be a bit of a pain. So the lumber area needs to be replanned. So what we did was we ripped it down. Those will all get moved out of there and in place of this altar. So what we're going to do is we're going to get building. Once this is done and we're ready to go, I will be back. Alright, and we're back. So we settled on a design. We really wanted to use limestone, but we just could not find a limestone that worked. So we went with a very simplistic design. We've got the layout for the basic summoning ritual right there, and we have a ritual of containment over top of it and around it currently active. So when something appears in there, it will be caged and it will bleed Newt to death, not me. So because he activated the ritual. But what we need before we can do that is we need some chemistry sets, and then we need some obsidian. I think we need 6. And what we're making is this thing right here, alchemic chemistry set. That's it, words. Go here. There we go. Knew I had one in here somewhere. And there. So that gets us caught up to this point, because what we need, ideally what I want to do is I want to get a calcinator. I'm going to need to get, where is it? There it is. The router, alchemic router, and alchemic segmenter, because I want to get a magnetism set up in random age 1, because that's an underground age. It starts out at like level 40. So if I get that, and I think it's terre and something terre, whatever the next terre is, it'll increase the range to a 63 by 63 on the magnetism. So I don't care if I pockmark that random age. I haven't used magnetism around here because it leaves holes all over the place, and you get spawns everywhere, and it's just a mess. So we don't want to have to mess with that. So terre, there it is. So I'm going to do it in a random age, right? I don't have to care about it. Okay. So it's 500 life points. Okay, it just needs an orb. It doesn't matter what orb goes into it. We're going to need obsidian. That's a pain in the butt. Dirt, sand. Sugar, gunpowder, glowstone. Okay, so redstone, glowstone, sugar, and gunpowder. So let's go down here and get us some sugar. Eventually I'll connect up an elevator down here, maybe. I'm not entirely sure, because eventually I'm going to probably scrap this area and rebuild it somewhere else. Because as it stands right now, I don't... This was put down here initially just because it was a place where we could put a well of suffering and it wouldn't get in the way of anything. But I don't want it to be permanent, and if I leave it there for too long, it's going to become temporarily permanent. And that's not what I want. So, alright. I have a bunch of strips and wedges and all sorts of stuff. So I've got strips, nooks, corners, all sorts of fun stuff. I was trying out the carpenter's blocks, not carpenter's blocks, the forge multi blocks to see if I could find something that looked decent. Did not work. Okay, does it matter what order you put them in here in? Yeah, we'll just go with what it has. So, redstone, sugar, and there. And is it bubbling? Yeah, it's bubbling. Perfect. Alright, so this one will go. Then, what do we need? We need... I know we're going to need a bunch of the simple catalysts, which is why I'm making so many. We don't need that many to summon the demon. Alright, so we need a simple... So we're going to need... 5, is it? 5 plinths? Ooh, there's 6. Okay. So we need... Where is it? This one. We need 6 of these. So we need 12 obsidian, 6 dirt, and 6 sand. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab a stack, because then we don't have to worry about math. And there, half a stack. Nope, that's not half a stack. There. Alright, this will let us make a bunch of it. We don't really need a bunch, but let's go 9, 12, 6. Counting is fun. I feel like I'm missing something. And there. Oh, the catalyst. Okay, that's what I'm missing. So, dirt. I don't know if the order actually matters. I'm betting it doesn't. Then we toss that in there. Do I have... I do not. So let's get over here. I think I may have another orb in this box here. Oh, perfect. I got a couple of them. Great. Because it looks like the junkiest orb will work in there, so... Because it doesn't need... Oops. Blueberries. Alright, let's see. So we're going to put that in there. We'll put that one in there just in case we need it. And he is still AFK because he hasn't moved yet. Okay, perfect. Those are building up. Let's actually take a look at the calcinator real quick. Oopsie. Blood. Magic. Alright, calcinator. Okay, so overall it's going to require a strengthened catalyst, which requires 2 simples. Okay, we can do that. That's easy. Cracked runic plates. Concentrated, which requires a strengthened... Okay, so it's a bit of a rabbit hole, but not that bad. So I can do that stuff, and I'll get that probably in between this episode and next, or maybe after we're done with the demons. I'm not sure what we're going to do. Oh, hey, it looks like he's back. Alright, I'm going to get the rest of these crafted up, and once we're ready to summon a demon, I will be back. Alright, it's time to summon a demon. So I've got the terrae on each one of the plinths here, and... Alright, here we go. Well, lightning hasn't destroyed anything yet. I put the bloodthorn there because I think it creates the debuff we need to get a blood orb or a soul gem, and I want to make sure we get one. So now we just... Oh, now! I mean, it doesn't really hurt, but it's annoying. Okay, I got one. Want me to set it up for the next one?
Yep.
Alright, as soon as the last terrae goes on the plinth, it's going to summon. That bloodthorn said it applies that weakness to him. I think it's the same debuff our swords provide. So yep. I put it there to make sure that we don't risk not getting a blood shard or a demon shard from him. And oh, they got that weird little debuff they do. It's really annoying. Oh wow, he stings a bit.
Got one.
All right. Did you want to do another one? Oh wait, no. I don't have.
We should be okay with just the 2.
Okay, that's good because I just realized I don't have the terrae for another one. Actually, I'm just going to leave the orb there. All right. go make the... How much does the orb cost to make?
No idea. Let's find out.
Just pop it in there and see what happens. Alright.
I expect lots.
That's kind of what I'm thinking too. Let's keep an eye and see how it's doing. It's draining down nice and fast. Holy smokes.
Okay. Well, one thing, we don't have our altar fully populated.
That's true. Those bottom ones are... Oh, it takes 75,000. All right. I think we're going to do some rune
Okay,
upgrades.
we need reinforced slates, stone, and glowstone.
All right. Yep, that's what we're going to do. We're going to get these runes upgraded, and then I'll be back. All right, time for me to make mine. We just made his, so we know this works. So here we go. It's crazy how slow it is now that we took those speed runes off. We had, I think, double the amount of speed runes that we currently have before, and this thing bled off so fast that it had no chance to keep up. And we're putting a couple thousand per tick with each of us standing here back into the network, and it still wasn't able to keep up. It should tick over soon. And there we go. Let's see. Yeah, it's got this little sliver in the bottom of life. Wow. Alright, I'm going to fly down and put this thing on the other altar so it charges.
Okey-doke.
Oh, that's an insane amount. It's like 100,000 before
I'm
this
going
one.
to sit on the potato charger here.
What's this one, 1 million?
Something like that.
Well, it's got to be pretty close because the last one was 100,000. It looks like it's about 10% full. Wrong direction. So I used to come into the Thaumcraft room lately. I forgot where I was
You're
going.
going to have some fun, I think, when you start screwing around with the spells.
That's what I was thinking too.
The real spells, not the spell table ones. The ones with the conduits and empowering nodes and...
Yeah, those
the
little
ones
chain link ones.
They've definitely improved the look of some of them.
Almost back up to 100,000. I'm going to need to... I think what I'm going to do eventually is replace the cursed... or the stone that's on the floor of this thing with cursed earth. But I think before I do that, I want to find a better spot for it. Any suggestions? Because I'm trying to think of a permanent place I can put my altar. I mean, underground seems better.
The optimum thing, if you want to go bonkers, is to do that sort of conveyor model that you were talking about, where essentially we siphon them all towards the center. They get levitated up into a big pile and shredded there.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. But I'm thinking because of the vampire thing, I'm going to need to be underground.
Yep.
That's kind of where I'm shifting everything right now. And I've been trying to spread stuff out in the base because some of these chunks are getting a little meaty. Like the Thaumcraft one, the one that has the Britannia stuff in, it's those chunks over there are pretty full. And then your witchery stuff is kind of busy. So I'm thinking maybe under the altar. Or not under the altar, under the demon summoning ritual, that area.
That would be a decent spot.
Because I think that area might be nice and safe. And if I build the altar so like this piece right here, like it's just the top 3x3 is sticking up at 41 or level 41, so it's just kind of a step up onto the altar, and everything else is below it. And then have
it's more than 1 million.
Really? Have you already breached?
It's probably like 10 million.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so the next thing we'll need is an awakened activation crystal. That'll let us do some of the more interesting rituals.
Okay, that's alchemy, and it's an activation crystal, another shard, a demon blood shard or another star, depending on where you're sitting.
That didn't look that hard.
Aquasalis, ether, and incendum. So it's not terrible.
Yeah, the hardest part I think is going to be getting all the catalysts built up so you can create those. Alright. So we got that part. Let me go check recording times, see where we're at, and then if we have time left, I will see if there's something else in the checklist we can get done. And I will be right back. Okay, so we still have some time. So what we're going to do is we're going to make ourselves an activation crystal. A good one. So I killed two two withers, and I built up two of the other resources necessary. That way we can do newts as well. And did I do this right? Let's see. Did I not read this right? Because I got 2 stars. I got my weak activation crystal. Oh, that's what it doesn't like. I need my new orb. Otherwise it won't work. That must be the key for entry into this level is the new blood orb. So we'll go all the way down here and grab it. And let's get that out of the way. There. Alright, so we're going to pop back up. We're going to try this again with the right blood orb. And okay. Alright, let's do this again. Yeah, the one trick with these things is, you can't, you sometimes can't click on the plinth here. You have to click on the actual bottom, which is kind of a pain. There we go, bubbles. I have no idea. How much does this take? Ooh, 10,000. And activation crystal. And bound to me now. Okay, so we just need to get him to put his his activation crystal right there. We do not have any uses. I can't remember what there were a couple rituals I wanted to try out with this one, but I can't remember where they were off the top of my head. There's one of them that gives flight, which we really don't need anymore since we have flight. But it was like a 20 or 30 plus radius around the ritual stone, and once it was activated, it just worked. It didn't seem to have an upkeep cost, which was crazy. So my initial thought was to put it directly under this tower, but I got flight before I got to this point. There's another one which gives you basically safe fall for a radius around the ritual, where if you fall, you hit the ground and you don't take fall damage as long as you're within the area, which is kind of cool. But I think I'm going to have to dig through these and see. Ooh. Looks like 2 more of my trees grew. You can kind of see I got a node there, and I got 2 there. So we're kind of... Right now I'm just going to kind of catch everybody up on what we're doing here, because we're to the point now where we've accomplished everything I wanted to, plus a little more. So what is it? We've got... That one's right here. I thought... No, I hadn't got that far into the wall yet. So you can see, because if we look at the map, you can see which chunks are held, or which areas are held by the magical forest now. So I've got almost the entire lower half, or lower southern quarter of the wall done. Need to get one right there. And the way it lined up, it was actually kind of weird when I was doing it. The proper place is directly under the door. So I've got one like 2 blocks under the door. And I've just been kind of going through. I came in earlier and this whole area was kind of lit up like a star field. I've been slowly moving them over into there. I've got 3 left. As you can see here, I haven't replanted the trees yet. So we'll see what we can do with that. But I'm going to rip those down eventually. They break down into... Silverwood breaks down into Precantatio and Ordo, which is fantastic. So if we need Ordo for anything, we just have to melt that stuff. Same with the magic. I've got this thing turned off currently because, as you can see, we have a lot of baked potatoes. And if you come in here, I emptied this once already. That's nearing full, and in order for seeds to make it into here, they would have had to go through 2 more barrels down there, which I don't think are quite full yet. So we're doing pretty good there. Like you heard me talking to Newt earlier, I'm probably going to see about moving my my blood altar into this area, somewhere over here. I'm not sure yet. So what that'll do is that kind of separates out our chunks, because I got the Botania and those over there, Thalmcraft and those chunks under the tower. His witchery stuff's over there in that corner. His blood altar's right here. Well, the feathered knife blood altar is right here that he's using to charge his orb. The altar that I'll build down here will be based on Cursed Earth. I saw a design. I knew that levitators could move items. Let's find them here. Artifice. Yes. So this is what I was talking about earlier that I forgot to. 2 episodes ago, one that I forgot to go over is they're really easy to make, and they lift you up 10 blocks. You can shut them off with redstone. They go 10 blocks. You stack them. They go higher. You hold sneak to go down, or you don't do anything and you float up. but they'll move items and entities up as well. And I never really thought about using it that way as a farm. I mean, I've used it to kind of eject enemies out of areas before, way in the past, but I've never tried to use it as a farm design. And I think it was the Gaming on Caffeine's channel. He had one he published the same day I recorded my Levitator one, so it was kind of on my mind when I watched his episode. He used Cursed Earth with conveyor belts. So you've got like the levitators would be directly under me, and the conveyors run off in the cardinal direction, so north, south, east, and west. And the area in between them is all Cursed Earth, and he stacked them in layers. So the enemies would get pushed off and they'd fall into the hole, and they'd get caught by the levitators and pushed all the way up to the top. When they got to the top, he had a Draconic Evolution grinder there to kill them, and then I can't remember, vacuum mopper or something to suck up the drops. But for us, we can use that to significantly increase the number of critters getting shoved into our Well of Suffering. So I think that's kind of going to be the idea I'm going to build this one on, is instead of having the well sitting directly on the farm will be starting at bedrock and working its way up to however many levels I need, and the enemies or the critters will get lifted up. Actually, it'll need to be maybe 10 blocks above bedrock or something like that, so we have some room to work in down there with the levitators. But that'll be kind of interesting. But so that's kind of the plan for the future. Is I want to get that moved. I want to get the we're looking right now at trying to find a place to put the ritual. It's like Evocation of the Damned. It summons the demon gateway that brings the demon invasion in, because that gives us our tier 6. And I want to do that just because I actually want to do it. Okay, technical difficulty. Do not push the Windows key while recording. I want to see this ritual, so I want to actually create the ritual, create the items necessary to build it. I've seen it done quite a few times on other people's channels, but there's always something different about watching it and actually trying it. So that's kind of what I want to do. So we're thinking about maybe 1,100 blocks away or something like that, because the ritual, the invasion is supposed to have like 1,000 by 1,000 radius. So we're not really sure where we're going to place it, but the idea would be that I'm thinking having it butt up somewhere like 100 blocks from the base or something like that, so it's like right there when it gets to that point. We also want to either find or create a tainted biome, possibly inside the invasion, to see what happens. That's kind of our future plans, along with all the other stuff I've got on my checklist that I need to do, like breaking open a node, getting our storage done, getting our infernal furnace up, stuff like that. But let's see. I think that's pretty much it for now, so we kind of got an idea of what we're aiming to do in the future. And then for today, we got our demon ritual. We summoned an earth elemental. We killed him twice. Created our Archmage's Blood Orb, I think it is. Archmage? Yes, Archmage. So we got the Archmage's Blood Orb. We got our Awakened Activation Crystal. And I'm going to see if I can find some rituals to play with and see if we can look at those next time. But for now, I think that's where we're going to call it. So thank you for watching.